Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to talk about one of the very important topics in everyone's professional career, that is building our resume. Now, this is a very crucial towards becoming success in interviews. So without wasting much time, let us get into the topic directly here. So there are already lakhs and lakhs of resumes floating in the market. So how are we going to highlight our resume is one very important thing that we need to consider or think about. So now let us think from a different perspective here. The recruiter or whoever is reviewing your profile will only spend less than a minute to see what you have got. So in that 1 minute or less than 1 minute, what are we going to highlight is very important. So that's why the format of your resume and what are you highlighting in the resume is going to play a very crucial here. Okay, so traditionally, if I speak, we all know these five important you know things that resume tells, that it connects us with the recruiters. It speaks about the professional things that we have done in our professional careers, and it also explains why we are the right fit for the job. And it is also like a brand in itself, how are you portraying yourself in the resume is important. Okay, and now last but not least is how are you going to impress with that resume. So these are like five typical steps that we might have heard in different uh, uh, platforms, or we might have seen different videos telling about this. But today what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you sample resumes, and we'll try to understand what are the problem statements in that, and we'll see how we can uh, fix that. So to start off with, I have taken one sample resume here. So if you see, this is uh, this guy having now 9.5 years of experience here. So we are talking about that. Now assume you are an HR or you are a recruiter, and you have searched for like Cognos or Tableau or stage tools in your portal, and this resume came up. You download it. Now when you look into this, what is that you see first? Okay, so that is something that we need to think when we are preparing our resume. What is that we are going to see? So this is all plain text profile summary. We are not highlighting anything special or specific that we want our recruiter to see. Like, you say, I have led a team of 20 members. So in these 8 points or 10 points, whatever are there, do you think he will read all of those? No. Unless and until we highlight key points here, the first eye of his will go on that thing that you are going to highlight. So no doubt professional summary is very important. It gives a brief understanding like what we are or what we have done in our professional career. But from a recruiter standpoint of view, if you think, we need to highlight our prime objectives or prime activities that we have done. So that is why profile summary is very important. So here highlight what are the important things that you have done. Like, if you're talking about Tableau, or uh, in Tableau, again, there are two things, desktop and server. What are the activities that you have done in desktop? What activities you have done in Tableau admin site? Okay, so all that you need to uh, highlight in this professional summary. That is one thing that we need to take away from here. Now after this guy has written about the certification or certified skills, he said. So no doubt, certification is very important for our professional careers. It will take us one up the ladder or two up the ladder, but how are we going to highlight that is again something that we need to think about. Okay, So this guy has kept it second. Okay, fine, no issues. Then comes the technical competencies. So here again in technical competencies, some are very important. See, now you see operating systems. So do you think this operating system is really needed? Okay, so now this guy will go and he recruiter will not even see, like 98 NT 2000 XP and all. So this is not even relevant or needed here. So what is needed here is what are the technical skills that you possess, what are the different databases that you have worked on. That is something that is very important because it gives an interviewer or a recruiter an understanding that okay, we have worked on different databases. So that's why these two are important here. Next is programming language. If at all you know, you can write it here. If not, you can remove this from here. Next is any additional tools. Like again, these are part and parcel of our everyday or any professional. Like how are they storing the data? How are they retrieving? So for that, this WinSAP and Putty are very much useful. So domain knowledge, like based on the project that you are working, you can highlight that. Like you have worked on a banking domain, you have worked on insurance domain. So you can highlight that here. So suppose you are applying for an healthcare sectors. So here highlighting that healthcare as one of your domain knowledge will help the recruiter in finalizing or shortlisting your profile. So that kind of thing we need to highlight here. So next, if I scroll down here, again project some experience summary here. He has written one subheading here. So here what is important is if you are a professional or a working professional, so for us it is very important that we highlight the projects that we have worked on, okay, and what was our role and what we did. So these three are something that are very important. So like this guy has written here project experience summary. So what is the project that he has worked, what are the tools that he has used, what was the project about, and what did he do, all are available here. So this is very important for everyone. What is the project that you have worked on, what is the client that you have worked on, and what did you do. So the more projects you write, the more it will help the recruiter or the interviewer understand the the different things that you have worked on. So that is something that we can take away from here. So this guy has written entered a lot of this thing here. Now again this guy has written like primary skills and all. So skills we have already highlighted on the top, so I don't think we need again. So you can highlight on the in the beginning itself. And again this is not required, passport details and all. Some companies they will specifically request for passport while applying, but in resume it is not needed. So don't write all of that information, like your date of birth is okay still, but your place, your college, where did you go, why did you go, your all of that is not required. It is not a matrimonial site, it is a professional site, and they are only looking for your professional information. Okay, so now let us look into another profile and we'll see what else we can do here. Now this is another profile of 5 years experience. Okay, okay, again same, if you see here the first point is professional summary. So I would also suggest add objective, like what is your objective here, what are you actually trying to look, or what are you actually looking for. That is something that is very important for us to write. I have passion for Tableau. Okay, so I will write that I'm passionate about data, and I'm passionate about data visuals. I'm looking for opportunity in data visualization because that is something that I'm passionate about, or I'm passionate about training, that is my hobby, like that. So here you can write what is your objective, what are you looking, and how do you want to explore your next opportunity, something that is on the top, and it will definitely catch an eye of the recruiter. Next is again professional summary, like we have seen earlier. So this guy has worked on so many things, fine, but did he highlight? So interviewer or at least recruiter will not have time to read all of these points. So in this, what is important is what are the important things that you have done. Like, he said he has given trainings, something that is very important. Okay. So again, here experience is important. How many years of experience he's got in Tableau? What are the versions he has used? And what are the different skills? All that he has written. So we need to highlight what is important here again. Next is again professional experience. Okay, it is very simple here. Educational background is MBA, software proficiency. So like this, again, see, project wise information. So what did he do in the project? What is the project about? And his roles and responsibilities. So something that like this, we can definitely add. Okay. So the takeaway from this or from the resumes that we have discussed so far is one, let me write it here. Objective is important. Okay. Profile summary. In that, highlight whatever important activities that we have done. Next is like, project wise, our exposure or, details about that project, like our roles and responsibilities specific to project. So this gives an understanding that, okay, what have we done in different projects? So what was our role? How much exposure we had with the client. So client exposure is something that is very important, and most of the recruiters or interviewers focus on. So like they will test, like, whether we have a knowledge of, communicating with the client, taking the requirements and all. This is something that I like you guys to, mention your point or this point in the resume. So often you might have heard, like, it is your project a client facing role? Okay. So you need to tell that, okay, it is a client facing role, and I regularly interact with the client to update my status or understand the requirements, or requirement gathering. All that are, exposure that are giving us when we are interacting with the client. So something that we need to specifically add in the resume. Okay. So now one more important thing is the format that we are going to use. So now this is a typical resume which has a lot of textual information in that, which is highlighting the professional summary or a lot of points to read. uh, One thing that we need to consider here is the time. Okay. So like, if you are 5 years, it will be like 3 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages of resume. But I doubt like any recruiter will go all of your 5 pages. He will just scroll like I'm scrolling right now. He will see just project name and that's it. So most of them prefer one pager. So one pager, uh, if I have to show you, it is something like this. So assume this is a one pager, but this is with respect to a fresher here. But we as an experienced professionals can write a lot of information here. Or how are we going to add important points related to our profile? So specifically, if you are moving on an internal project, so there is a concept called as one pager, where client asks about your one pager. So how much of information you are trying to put in the one page that is given to you? That's it. You do not have, beyond that. So like, we are all data enthusiasts, so we know how to represent the data. So taking that, how do we, represent our own data, like our own professional qualifications, our own personal or technical skills that we possess. This is something that we need to focus on. Okay. So again, like earlier, there are only Word document that we used to do, and most of the like 90% of the cases we just used to copy and paste it and just send it. So resume is not something like we can copy and paste. It is your individual story. Like if your resume is not good, he'll skip like the skip intro button that is there in the beginning of every movie, and that we skip. Okay, so that's why if trailer is good, then only people will come to watch the movie. So this is something that you are showing to the recruiter. So if he feels that okay, you are interested, or this whatever we are talking in the resume is fitting his requirement, then only you will get a call. That is the next step here. First step is to make a recruiter or an HR reach you. Then only you can show your communication skill, or then only you can go and talk with the recruiter or HR and pass in that. But first step is what are you communicating with your resume. Okay, so always make a note of this important points that are needed in every resume. One is objective. What is your objective? What are you going to do? Your personal details. Again, here not everything is required. Keep only what is necessary, like your name, your email address, and your phone number. I think that is more than enough. Next, languages. What are the multi languages that you possess? Hindi, English, Telugu, Tamil, or French, Spanish. If you know multi, then you can add all of that. So what are your key skills? So when I say key skills, what are the technical skills that you possess? Something that is very important, and everyone will look into it, like on what skills that you have worked on. So focus on this. Next is job experience. Like we have talked about, you have to mention what is the different projects that you have worked on, and what are the roles and responsibilities in each of that project. You need to definitely highlight that. Education, certifications, and achievements, these are something that we need to again add in our profile. So certification, as we grow up with the experience, we need to add certifications. That is what I believe. We need to have at least two to three certifications in your resume. If you are like say assume 3 to 4 years of experience, so I expect you to have at least one certification. Again, but that is not mandatory, it is up to you, but it will add only more points to your resume. That's it. Next is achievements. Like suppose you have worked for 4 years or 5 years, what are the key achievements that you have done in your project that you definitely need to highlight in your resume? Something that everyone wants to know, because my exposure with my client is different and the exposure that you might get is different. So how did you achieve key milestones in your organization, where you promoted early, or or you got a lot of appreciations, or you were performer of the year or performer of the month, or you have saved some x dollars of money with the innovation that you have provided. So all of that comes under achievements. Again, hobbies, something like a few specific organizations look into it, like what are your hobbies. If you want, you can write, or you can ignore it as well. But what is important from my perspective is objective is very important. Your personal details, keep it short and simple. Languages, add any important language that apart from English, like Spanish, French. You can add all of that. Regional language is fine, you can add it, no worries. Key skills, what are the different skills that you possess, like Tableau, Power BI, ETL, database knowledge, all that you need to specify here. Next is job experience. What are the different projects that you have worked on that you can write? And then is education. Again, keep it short and simple. Don't write all of the education. Like if I'm an MCA, it is obvious that I have passed my 10th, I have passed my inter, I have passed my graduation. So if necessary, then only you can specify, or else you can optimize that space to add other details like your job experience and all. Okay, so next is certifications. If you have certifications, you can add it. Achievements, if you have achieved anything, you can add it. So that is something that I have here. So if you have worked on multiple this thing, then you can write it here. So like I have written, this guy has written that he got award for project star of the year, something that he wanted to highlight. So he has written that. So again, what are the certifications that he has done, something that we can definitely add on. So achievement section is something like this. So this is something that the user will look into and think whether if this candidate has to be considered for a role or not. Okay, so I hope you find this video helpful. If you find it, please like, share and subscribe. That's it from my side. Have a good day. Bye bye.